An experience unlike any other is city living. Typically, you can easily access historical monuments, stunning architecture, museums, a vast variety of cuisine and drink, and much more. Paris, France, Shanghai, China, and even Boston, Massachusetts are among the most desirable cities in the world for a reason. However, there is a literal cost to city living. Good Lucks is a channel dedicated to inspiring you to extend your perspective, achieve general life breakthroughs, and discover what personal achievements may bring us. This video aims to show you the world's most costly cities to live in. Cities that are so pricey that you have to spend an arm and a leg to exist, and be able to afford necessities that, after paying for them, leave you feeling as though you've just bought a luxury item. Check out the list of the most expensive cities in the world if you're seeking a new place to call home, need some travel inspiration, or are just plain curious. You'll discover all about the rich histories, cultures, and inhabitants who give these sites their allure. Let's get started without further ado. Tel Aviv. Since December of last year, Tel Aviv, Israel, has held the title of the most expensive city in the world. The Mediterranean city outperformed Singapore and Paris to take the top spot, moving up from the 5th place from the previous year. These latest developments in Tel Aviv come on top of a long-standing affordability crisis, wherein rising prices for housing, transit, and necessities have widened inequality and driven many out of the city. A large portion of this is attributable to the shekel, Israel's currency, rising in value. The shekel's value against the US dollar reached $0.32 in November of 2021, marking a more than 2-decade high. The cost of housing, which has long been a source of dispute in Tel Aviv, is what should worry most people. As more investors have entered the real estate market and there has been a shortage of land to build new homes, housing costs have virtually doubled throughout Israel in the last 10 years. According to stats from Israel's Central Bureau of Statistics, average rents rose 3.3% from the same period last year in the third quarter of 2020. Some people are leaving the city to live in surrounding, more affordable suburbs as a result of housing expenses. Inequality between the wealthier northern residents of the city and lower income and more diverse southern citizens have widened as a result of affordability issues. Paris. Each year, 15 million people visit Paris alone. The lucrative employment can be found here. Even though Paris is constrained in its ability to grow and almost all of its available land has already been developed, everyone still wants to move there. Students must find housing because the best universities are located in or near Paris, and wealthy people from around the world prefer to have an apartment there, even though up to 10 to 15% of the city's housing stock appears to be vacant for the majority of the year, as its owners keep it as a vacation rental. Additionally, historically, apartments have been on the smaller side, often very, very small, and the cost per square meter typically drops as apartments get bigger. The majority of grocery shopping will be done at smaller supermarkets, referred to as superettes, rather than larger ones. And the smaller the supermarket, the more expensive it is, or more or less artisanal shops, which are far more expensive. This is partly due to real estate pressures and a legacy from the older buildings. This raises the cost even further. Singapore. Singapore, on the other hand, stands out due to its greater cost of living. Perhaps one of the biggest contributors to Singapore's high expenses is the lack of available land. With a total population of 5,453,600 people and a land area of 733.1 square kilometers, Singapore has the third highest population density in the world. Other financial problems are a result for the shortage of land. Singapore is the second busiest port in the world and has been named the top maritime capital for 4 years in a row. Population growth has increased demand for real estate, yet there is a limited supply, which drives up property and rental prices. However, except to pay significantly more if you're a foreigner, foreign buyers must also pay an additional buyer's stamp duty, which is 30% of the purchase price for the property's market value, whichever is larger, in addition to standard taxes. Rental fees will be high due to the significant cost associated with purchasing a property. As a result, healthcare expenses grew more quickly than the average cost of living. I believe that for the majority, basic needs are addressed, and once those needs are met, one would seek to enhance their quality of life. This is the area where spending on luxuries and comforts will increase. Zurich. According to Mercer's 2022 Cost of Living Index report, Zurich is the second most expensive place to live. Therefore, its fun and leisure activities come at a steep price. You can get a general idea of the cost of living in Zurich, Switzerland, from our guide. If it wasn't previously clear, Zurich has a much higher cost of living than 95% of the world's nations. This, along with a high rate of inflation, is what discourages most individuals from relocating to Zurich. The cost of living is broken down below if you're adamant about moving there and want to immerse yourself in the country's rich culture and viewpoints. On the cost of living in Zurich, you can also view the cost of living figures for each category. Even though Zurich is expensive, incomes there are around 10% higher than elsewhere in Switzerland. The average income of Zurich city residents is higher than that of Zurich canton residents. The greater incomes in Zurich more or less offset the high expense of living. A single person makes, on average, 11.333 Swiss francs per month, or 136,000 Swiss francs per year. Surprisingly though, less than 40% of the locals in Zurich are home owners. Zurich offers significantly greater convenience and affordability for renting apartments. Hong Kong. When compared to other Asian cities, Hong Kong has one of the most costly costs of living. After converting their own money into Hong Kong's currency, expats are likely to lose a significant amount of money. The Hong Kong dollar is used as currency in Hong Kong. To avoid being conned or losing money during bank and other conversions, a currency converter is accessible online and may be used to check the exchange rate from one's own home currency to the Hong Kong dollar. The price will, however, vary according to how frequently one travels each month. One of the most expensive cities in the world to live in is Hong Kong. The main cause of Hong Kong's high cost of living is rent. By carefully choosing a place to live, particularly one with reasonable costs for those with ordinary salaries, one can still have a good existence. One of the most expensive aspects of daily life in Hong Kong is renting or buying a property, which raises the city's cost of living. People who intend to relocate to Hong Kong are recommended to do background checks and prudently select their preferred residence depending on the reasons for doing so. One of the primary causes of Hong Kong's excessive cost of living is rent, food, clothing, transportation, personal care, and entertainment, which are some areas where a resident in Hong Kong is likely to spend the majority of their income. For those of you who are still watching, we'd like to give you an extra point for your perseverance. We appreciate your interest in this video. New York. One of the most expensive places in the world to live is now New York City. Consider your income before moving if you wish to live in New York City, so you can carefully budget your ongoing costs like rent, food, transit, and entertainment. Consider moving to a location where your monthly expenses would be more than twice what they are today. The national average rent for a 2-bedroom apartment is around $1,500, while in New York, a similar unit, give or take, would be around $3,500. Due to these costs, the city is currently the third most expensive place in the world to live. Although there are about 500 billionaires in the United States, only about 100 billionaires reside in New York. The city boasts some of the highest property values in the world, along with other factors on the expenses of living because it is home to so many billionaires. Your transportation expenses may go up much more if you can get a car loan. In New York City, the average monthly payment for a new car is $540, while the average monthly payment for a used car is $338. Living without a car would save you a lot of money if you reside in a city like New York, which has excellent public transportation. Another factor in New York's high cost of living is taxes. With an income tax of around 8.82%, the Empire State ranks 6th in the nation. Please leave any further questions or comments in the comments area. Click the like and subscribe buttons if you enjoyed the video so that other people can see it and be inspired. Enable the notification bell as well to make sure you don't miss any of our upcoming articles about personal development like this one. In the following video, we'll see you.